What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Adventure Outpost. In today's adventure, we are going to be diving into my most anticipated movies for the month of August, and we're wasting no time. We're jumping right into it with my least anticipated movie for the month of August. It is a movie that I have no need for. I am done with vampire movies. That's right, we're talking the movie Day Shift with Jamie Foxx and Dave Franco, a movie coming to Netflix that looks so Netflix it hurts. I am perfectly envisioning this as a mid-tier Netflix movie, pretty akin to Jamie Foxx's last Netflix movie, Project Power. Just a middling effort that's going to be doused with mediocrity, and it just doesn't look entertaining at all. Like, I don't need another vampire movie. Like, vampires, zombies, what else? There's just like whatever else you got, villain creature wise. Like, just put them to rest. But those two especially, zombies and vampires, I'm done with them. Stop it. I don't want any more. Just, stop making them for a few years. Let's just pump the brakes on shit like that. Like, I think we've told all the zombie and vampire stories we're gonna tell at the moment. Let's just pump the brakes. But coming hot on its heels is another genre that I can do without. That is the superhero genre. And we're getting another superhero movie take, whatever it is, that's not Marvel or DC, but one of the other ones trying to tell whatever superhero story they want to. It is Samaritan with Sylvester Stallone. It's just, it's like, the second I hear superhero movie, I just immediately tune out these days. I don't care. The gene pool has been so watered down. There's just what story is left to tell that's interesting within the superhero genre right now? Like, besides The Boys, I don't think there's anything. And the only reason that The Boys is interesting is because it's just such a unique take on there, where it feels the most lifelike of what it would actually be like in the real world if we had superheroes. So other than that, I just don't care about any other superhero story that's been told at this point. Like, MCU is just retelling the same movie over and over again, just with different skins. DC, God knows whatever the fuck they're doing. And then all these middling, lower ones that you've never even heard of that are dropping random movies like Samaritan. It's just like, I don't care, man. You're late to the party. I'm done. Like, this needs to go the way of the Western and the film noir and war, and every few decades has its movies, and then we move on to the next one. I think it is officially time that we say goodbye to the superhero movie. Coming up next is the latest A24 movie, Bodies. It's the end of summer, coming into fall, so you know what that means. It's time to go full steam ahead with horror movies, and we're starting to get our first of the bunch pop up here. It looks like, from the trailer, just a ridiculous movie about a bunch of woke individuals playing some weird ritualistic game that ends up spiraling out of hand when one of them turns up dead, and they all try and figure out who is the killer. It looks absolutely ludicrous. It sits above the other two simply because I can't even stomach to watch the other two genres anymore, so this movie lands here. But it's another one that just looks way too silly for me to even really be that interested in it. Dropping in next is the last of the movies that I really just don't really have any interest in. These four movies that we just did, between Samaritan, Day Shift, Bodies, and now this one, really could be all interchangeable. And it is Easter Sunday, from a comedian. I forget his name. I've never even heard of him before. But it's about him and his dysfunctional family over Easter Sunday. And it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't look funny or exciting. What makes it here is simply because it's short. So it's like, yeah, all right, that's one you can get in, watch quickly, and get out. Hopefully be as inoffensive as possible with runtime. But I'm just it's not really interesting to me at all. It's just been there, done that with the comedian does comedy movie. So there's nothing really that exciting there for me personally. Just barely gaining my interest is another Netflix film. It is Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, an animated movie starring everyone's favorite turtles as they go on whatever new or redo adventure that they've done in previous adventures. Who knows? I haven't seen a trailer or anything. I just know that on Netflix we're getting a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. So why the fuck not? Like, it's been a minute, so maybe they can make something halfway interesting. Probably not, but you know what? They've got just enough of my interest to check it out. Just barely edging out that, the August is just a slew of month of just like what looks to be really shitty direct to streaming movies. Like, there's a few coming out in theaters, but they're very far and few in between. Looks to be like another one. It only piques a little bit of my interest because it's got Owen Wilson, and I love me some Owen Wilson. And that is the movie Secret Headquarters, coming out on Paramount Plus. I haven't seen a trailer or anything. It's literally just scheduled to come out, I think, in like 2 weeks or so. Just barely got to see the plot. It's about a group of kids that think they find out their dad's a superhero because they find a secret headquarters somewhere in their basement. Sounds pretty stupid, pretty silly, but you know, it obviously is a comedy with Owen Wilson. Hopefully it'll bring some of the goods. It'll at least be something stupid to laugh at for like an hour and a half, and hopefully it's only an hour and a half. Anything longer than that, and that might send this one spiraling down the list. Our second horror movie drops here, finally another theatrical release movie, and that is The Invitation, a movie about a girl who finds out she has a long-lost family member from, I think it's Europe or some middle Central European country, and she ends up going with him for I don't know if it was a family reunion or a wedding or whatever. I think it was a wedding. Yeah, she goes for a wedding, and then finds out that she's part of the wedding, and it's like a ritualistic like sacrifice into whatever their like weird ass family is. And I don't remember if it's just like they're gonna like hunt her or do some shit to her, or if they're vampires. It might turn out to be that they're vampires, and I've grossly overestimated how much I'm going to enjoy this movie, because if it is vampires, send that movie right back down the list. I only saw the trailer once though. And this is all I can remember from it. It piqued enough of my interest, and it made it up here simply because I much prefer to see a movie theatrically than I do to watch anything on streaming. So naturally it gets a little bit of a bump since it's going to be theatrical. But now that I'm thinking more about this movie, I am thinking that it did end up becoming that they were like vampires or some shit. Which, if that's the case, I'm going to be severely bummed. Dropping in after that is the first of two movies that's coming out for the month of August that drops into the category of so ludicrous it looks great. It just gives me those classic 90s feels of just like wild movies that you just like, you turn your brain off and have fun. And the first one is this one. It is called Fall, theatrically released. Love it. About two girls that are free climbers, and they decide to free climb this just like rickety ass structure that's in like the middle of nowhere, but it's like insanely high, and they're just like, let's fucking climb it. And they do, and when they get to the top, the like ladder and stuff that they use to like climb and everything breaks off and falls to the ground, and now they're stuck up there and they have to find a way to get down. Simple, effective, looks absurd, super into it. Looks too like the movie's probably like 92 minutes, so like I'm already in, like let's go. Up next is a movie that I'm just frankly astounded isn't coming out in theaters, and that is Prey, their latest attempt to make the Predator franchise happen. This one at least looks like the most interesting Predator movie they've made since Predator 2, and it follows a Comanche warrior as she must go toe-to-toe with the Predator. So already points for just going very far back and doing something totally and completely unique with this movie. That makes me super invested in it simply because it's something new within that story and not trying to just do such a retreat or try to do too much stuff in like the present day. I like the idea that they're going to go back and we're going to show it with like just this like old school warrior going up against this force. I think that's really cool and can be fun and interesting. And hopefully the movie is able to buck the trend of terrible Predator movies that we've had so far since Predator 2. Coming up next is the John Boyega movie Breaking, theatrically released, due at the end of August. Looks to be like a true story also, or true story, about a man who seems to have been taken to his breaking point by something in the government or some government subsidized thing where this dude is down on his luck and needs money and seems like he's been forgotten, and he served in the military. The classic like served in the military and left behind to fend for himself afterwards type of story. So he breaks in to rob a bank and takes two women hostage. and tries to use the hostage situation to get whatever it is that he needs in his life that he is not currently getting. Looks to be like a really good movie. I am always a fan of those, like, not like necessarily true crime, but like those like bank robbing crime movies. And this just looks like stock crime movie that you're gonna get right there. Like, good John Boyega performance. Is the last performance from Michael K. Williams before he died. I'm pretty sure. I think they said this is the last movie of his, and it looks like he's gonna give like a pretty dope performance, getting to be the cop that's gonna try and talk John Boyega down. It just looks like it's a movie that's gonna be anchored by two really good performances, and sometimes that can just help elevate a movie. So the trailer's really going far for me right now, making me super interested in seeing that. But now it's top three time, baby. And boy, do these three movies look wild. And it's hilarious that 2 out of these 3 movies star Idris Elba. Who, I just noticed that now, right as I was looking at what these 3 movies are. But we kick off number 3 with the creature feature, Beast, coming out sometime in the middle of August. Idris Elba is taking his daughters on a trip to Africa on safari to kind of like show them like the life he lived with their mom. Like, it seems like she's probably dead when this movie starts, or like whatever was going on. And while they're on safari, they end up getting stalked and attacked by this lion that seems to just be going around all the villages and just like absolutely ritualistically murdering everybody. It just looks like a absolutely absurd creature feature, and I'm so down for it. I fucking love creature features. Love me some Idris Elba. Sharlto Copley's in it too. Like, it just looks like it's just gonna be a fun, like, turn your brain off August movie, and I'm so happy that that movie is also getting theatrically released. And coming in at number 2 is our other Idris Elba movie. It is 3,000 Years of Longing, a movie that looks almost like a spiritual successor to Everything Everywhere All at Once, in that it just looks balls to the walls insane. And it stars Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba. She gets like some magical artifact that when it breaks open, like Idris Elba pops out and he's like a genie, and it's basically like Aladdin. Like, he's just like, you get 3 wishes. I'll give you 3 wishes, and then you give me my freedom. And then it just becomes like a balls to the walls movie. There's not really much more you get out of the trailer other than that. And then it's just this bevy of insane images and scenes that just makes the movie look like it's going to be so inventive and just wildly imaginative. And I just can't wait for it. Idris Elba looks hilarious too, and like the get up that he is for it, and like the voice he's putting on for it. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be super awesome. And then, as always, there can only be one. And anyone who's keeping score at this point knows that number 1 for me is the movie Bullet Train. Actually, the last summer movie to be released. It comes out this Friday. I'm actually going to see it tomorrow. I am super excited to finally check this movie out. I've been waiting for it ever since I saw the first trailer for it. I've been super excited for this movie. And then a few weeks ago, I finally got the book and read the book, and that made me even more excited for this movie. If this movie can be even half as good as the book is, it's going to be a fun, wild ride. I think it's the perfect movie for August, where you're just kind of like enjoying those last dog days of summer, and you just want something to turn your brain off and just have like a fun shoot 'em up. And this movie, I think, is going to really satiate that lust for everybody. I don't think it'll do incredible at the box office, but I think it's going to have some fun legs for the month of August, and I think it is a perfect cap for summer 2022. And that is my list. It's definitely the end of summer, all right? It's crazy that there's really only one big theatrical release in Bullet Train, followed by a few just like medium-sized releases, but like just a bevy of shit on streaming. It's insane how the market is right now in regards to movies, where it's like we're getting big dosages of it in like the summer and the holiday months, and then other than that you have a few outliers, but for the most part it's that like fall and like January to April is just like nothingness. It's crazy how quickly COVID has changed everything. We're definitely taking our steps to get back to it with how good this summer was. Hopefully the holiday season can pick that up and we can continue that climb back to normalcy and maybe see a bit more than just outliers in the fall and that winter dead spots. But only time will tell. For now, we just got to enjoy what we're getting for August and look forward to September. But that'll do it for all of us here at the Outpost. Until the next adventure, you have been you, I have been me. These are the movies that we love so much. Get out and go check out what's coming out in August. Let me know down in the comments what you are most excited for, what you plan on seeing for the month of August. And until next time, adventure on.